Welcome to the Noble Knights podcast. I'm your host, Ian Pierce, and today with us we have Nigel, Jonathan, and Nolan. Would you guys like to introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Nigel. You may know me as the funniest kid in the school, and also as Tom Henderson from FH News. And if you don't know what that is, you'll know in like a couple weeks, maybe. Just check FHN today. You'll see it somewhere.
All right, Jonathan, would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm Jonathan Cast. I'm a sophomore.
Nolan?
Oh, should I just have a grade on him?
I'm Nolan, and I'm also a sophomore.
All right, nice to have you guys on our show today. All right, so the first topic we're going to get to today is we're going to talk about the new building of the school. So I thought, what's something school-related we could start with? So I assumed, let's start with the new building of the school, right? So I kind of want to hear what your guys' idea is of what the new school is. So what are some of the things you guys are looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to better teachers. Just kidding.
Probably gonna have the same teachers. Also,
No way. Is that the phone guy?
might, and some of the after-school activities.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to better equipment in the school.
Okay. So, Nigel, what are some of your thoughts on the new school? Other than better teachers, apparently?
Well, I think that it's going to be interesting to see the school differently. Guys, I'm getting a little scared. I just got my cameras just went out, so I'm going to have to reboot them from the camera system.
Alright. Okay, so what do you guys think is going to be the new estimated time for the time of the building, right? So it's going to take a certain amount of time. So what do you guys think it'll take?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say
From what I've been hearing,
maybe at least a year, probably.
Okay. So my prediction for the new school is that I assume that we're not going to be able to do it, or at least use it, because especially with the coronavirus going around, it's going to be a lot harder for us to actually get to do things, and for them to get to do stuff.
That's a correct observation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things I know I'm looking forward to the new drama building, right? Since majority of us.
Oh yeah, that's a good one, yeah. Especially because I'm making a Christmas production, so you should get tickets to that.
All right, so Jonathan, I heard that you are on Lights and Sound for the play, and can you give us some insight of some of the things you do in Lights and Sound?
so for lights and sound, we mostly just do things with the lights because most of the sound stuff is usually broken. Like most of the microphones are broken. A lot of the microphones are broken. We don't do very much with the sound because of that. And with the lights, it's usually the main thing that we do because you need to see the people on the stage. And at least the lights aren't broken as much. So that's good.
So is that some of the things you're looking forward to in the new school?
Oh yeah, like less broken microphones, less broken sound equipment. We could have better lights and just better things in general.
All right.
It'd be a lot easier to work.
So Nolan, what are some of the things you are looking forward to in the new school?
I'm probably I don't think we'll probably get to like you said, Ian. I don't think we'll probably get to use the new school, but when we visit, I'm probably gonna say probably better classrooms for the teachers, better bleachers and not having to touch stuck on gum every time you put your hands on the bleachers,
Yeah.
which will be nice.
Come back almost immediately.
So, I kind of have with the coronavirus going around, right? So I think the school, you guys heard about the new mandate, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if those of you that don't know about the mandate, it's basically that if you get contact traced from someone getting COVID, you can go to school, but you can't go outside of school. You can't do after school clubs. You can't you can't leave your house, but you can go to and from school.
Did you just almost say that we couldn't go home?
I screwed up.
You have to stay at school.
Imagine getting contact traced and never seeing your family again.
Well, at least till after 2 weeks. So, have any of you guys been quarantined before?
I have not. I've
Nope.
been lucky.
Okay.
I was quarantined once.
Nolan.
Shit, I know you have.
Yeah, I've been quarantined twice before. And Nolan, have you been quarantined?
Nope. And I don't want to jinx it.
All right. I don't think any of us really want to, but it's one of those things we kind of have to conversate about, you know? And so, Jonathan, what are some of the experiences that you had from being quarantined?
So being quarantined actually really sucked because you don't get to see any of your friends face to face at school, and you're just kind of at home with your family, which was me. And some of the schoolwork, you don't get schoolwork some of the times because not all of the teachers put every single thing on Canvas, which is the thing you use.
Mm-hmm.
And it just gets confusing, and there's a lot of work that you can't do until you get back to school. It's really annoying.
Yeah, I know I struggled with that. My main struggle was with getting left behind, you know? It's that all these people are learning all this stuff, and when you don't have the face-to-face communication or the in-person communication with a teacher, I feel that there's a problem with that type of thing where you can learn how to do math, but you're not learning it as easily as you could in class, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because your teacher knows
Yeah.
exactly, and conveying that online can be much more difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And I've heard other people they don't like when they got contact traced. They also had a hard time working on work because too many distractions.
Yeah. Because I had probably on average about, at the most, I maybe had 3 times out of the 3.5 weeks I was quarantined out of school. And I had only 3 of those days I had 3 hours of homework. Other days I'd have 1.5 hours to 2 hours. It was very minimal homework, but then you just sit there I'm used to being school, right? And then when you come back, your whole entire routine's thrown off, you're eating differently, you're sleeping differently, and then you're going back to school. And what I described it is that I've come back to school 2 times. And so I described it as being, it's the first day of school over again. Because you're coming back, things are different, there's people doing different things, you don't know exactly what you're doing.
It just gets really confusing.
Uh-huh. So, Nolan, do you have any perspectives of, you seeing other people getting quarantined or anything like that?
I actually saw this on Friday. 3 people in my English class got contact traced, but they were on the other side of the room.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still kind of worried because a lot of people got contact traced that day, and I'm just I hope it's not me because I got a concert coming up for band.
Yeah, and I'm excited about this performance, especially with the new incoming and talented freshmen in the play. And I think it's really useful that if we have that, so they get into the actual physicality of doing a play instead of just practicing. They actually do the rehearsing, because we're doing our tech rehearsal week where we're trying out everything. So there's a couple other topics that I think I'd like to describe with you all. So this podcast, it was one of those things I came up with on the whim, and I think that it's going good so far. So do you guys have any, like, critiques, ideas, anything that, like, first of all, let's just start. Do you like this type of podcast? Do you like it?
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. It's a really interesting concept with the school, because it's school. You don't really get to see that very often, unless it's like on one of the social media websites like Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram too. And it's a new thing that you can do.
Yeah, I think it's I really like the idea of it, because I was like, well, you know, FHN Today, right? Everyone knows what it is. And
Yeah.
I really like
I know what it is.
Yeah, I got the idea from FHN Today. I was like, what's something interesting that we could do that's not completely, like, story-based, and it's just something that a bunch of us just talk and have a conversation, and we get into, like, the feel of, like, we all can't really see each other after school as much because of quarantine and stuff like that, and it brings up a whole opportunity for the students to listen to the teachers and the teachers to listen to the students other than in class. And I think that's really what makes this work, right? And so, do you guys have any ideas of what we could possibly do in the future with this for the audience?
I mean, what we could do is try to invite some teachers to see what their perspective is on just the things going on around school, and maybe talk about how they feel about the podcast, because you don't know how they feel about it. What do teachers think about not around school?
Yeah,
some more of the students.
I had an idea of that maybe once a month, right? We take some ELA teacher, some person that in the school that isn't a student, and they tell us, like, what book are you reading? To just get out there, right? We have to, like, entice the audience. It's like, yeah, we just talk, but we're also, like, informative. We give people help and stuff like that, you know? People could give us things that we can say during these podcasts, then we can spread the word, like, about, oh, there's this football match coming up, such and such, on this day, and things like that.
Yeah. Like,
Very
we
well,
can't do that during football season, though.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's one of those things that we could just do to help everything in general. And I think it really conveys the message. Because my message is that I want something that a teacher doesn't control. I'm not meaning that in a bad way, but something that a teacher can't be like, oh, we don't like this idea. I don't know what teacher would do that, but we're thinking hypothetically, right? And it's that these...
You might get in trouble for this.
It's that these teachers... like, they could influence what goes on. And the reason I put that on there is that I was like, for our Twitter page that we have, at Noble Knights FHN, it says that we're non-official because I don't want to screw anything up for the school, obviously, or have anything like that. But we're not associated with any teachers, and we're just students just having a conversation. And I think the teachers would add an extra step to our whole entire thing. They have to approve of what's going on, and this is just us on our own schedules, you know?
Yeah. You don't have to have a teacher leading every single thing in the school. You could have some things like this, more student-led, which is great, because you don't have a teacher controlling everything at school, or a principal, or whoever.
So, like, Nolan, any thoughts on that, or anything like that?
Not really. I think everything I was thinking has already been said.
All right, so I was thinking of, so to get more out in the audience, right, that we have a type of Google form that I'm going to add on the description and or comments on this video on our podcast channel on YouTube. And it's that you'll be able to fill out the Google form and have a chance of being featured on this show that works with our schedule and yours, so that you'll be able to join and be on the show and tell what you want to do or have a conversation with me and all the other people that are also on this show. So I think that's a really good idea for everyone, and I want to hear what you guys all think about it. Is this a good idea?
Oh yeah, it's a great idea because you don't have to have specific times. Well, you do have specific times, but you can find out when a good time is for somebody and when a good time isn't for somebody, and then you could try to find a really good place to do it and have someone that's not been on here before be on here.
Mm-hmm. So, Nolan, could you maybe pile on to that, or?
Yeah, I like it that's more flexible. Because a lot of people have stuff like a lot of stuff after school, or they have like AP classes, or and a lot of times for a lot of people, it's hard to find times to do stuff like this. So, I think this is a really good thing.
And I know it's that these people, they have jobs, they have things like that, but I think it's that if you want to do this show and you have to have like some sort of dedication. I don't want you to be like, oh, I want to be on it, yeah, you made it on the show, and then cancel like the last minute. That's the main thing that I'd have a problem with. Itherwise, it's like if you cancel 3 days beforehand, stuff like that, either we find someone or we don't, right? And it'll almost like, I think it would drive everyone crazy, right? Other people listening to the show. And I think it's that, I think honesty plays a big part in it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, like, for a thing that you said earlier, it's like canceling last minute. I don't really like people doing that because you got these plans, you keep going on these plans, and then you make planning on those plans, going out and doing things so you can do other things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when someone cancels last minute, I mean, you gotta change all those plans.
Mm-hmm. So do you guys want to talk about anything else? That's all my topics. Do you guys have any topics you guys want to discuss that we'd all be able to participate in?
I think we should talk about Five Nights at Freddy's. Who is Golden Freddy?
I don't know.
I don't think everybody is a gamer. Okay?
I don't think everybody is a gamer. You are sorely mistaken, my friend.
I mean,
I know my dog. My dog is even a gamer.
I think we should talk about something that's all everyone can participate in.
Okay. Who is Freddy?
Some guy that works at the corner store? I don't know.
No, you're not. Oh my gosh, Ian. This is why we need to talk about this.
Freddy is a restaurant.
Yeah, exactly. See, now we're talking. Okay, build off of that.
I mean, haven't you ever gone to Freddy's Burgers and Fries?
Yeah, it's decent.
Oh my
it's kind
God,
of expensive. Okay, so I just thought of something. What did you guys do for Thanksgiving, if you celebrate it? So yeah.
My Thanksgiving wasn't actually as good as my previous Thanksgivings, but what we did was we all came around the table, we said our thanks, and we just had a good time at the table.
Mm-hmm. So, for my Thanksgiving, we went over to one of our friends' houses, and they took all the proper precautions. We all did. And we had really good dinner. We sat down, we said thanks, and like every other night, you know?
Yeah.
So, Nolan, what did you do for Thanksgiving?
My Thanksgiving, we had a good dinner. We said our thanks, and then we usually go to we just had Thanksgiving at my house this year because of COVID and everything. But what we usually do is we go to my grandma's house, and then we have Thanksgiving there with all our relatives. Or with all my relatives, and it was still really nice, but it's just not the same.
So, what are you guys thankful for? Like, if we can go around.
For me, it would be that I'm thankful for all the people that are around me. It's really nice to have other people to support you.
I'm thankful for all my friends, my family, and especially all you viewers just giving us the support on this first episode that we have.
I'm thankful for my friends, my family, and nobody in my family, and everybody that's staying safe. Well, everybody in my family that staying safe. So, and nobody's gotten sick yet.
Yeah, it's good. You know, have you guys heard anything about like any like deaths related to the school in our area? Have you guys had any things impact you? Let's go with that.
So on my mom's uncle's daughter, they had found out they had leukemia and also COVID, which having those two together can be horrible. So, like, for the past few weeks, they've just been in the hospital.
Well, I hope they stay safe. I think everyone does, you know?
Well, I mean, if they're in a hospital, that's one of the safest places they can stay. You're just kind of by yourself.
I hope they, like, have a full recovery, and I think everyone else does, too.
Yeah.
So Nolan, have you been impacted at all? Nolan, have you been impacted at all?
No, not really. I'm just me and my family are just trying to really stay safe because of COVID. And yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been impacted either, just family-wise, you know, it's, because I wasn't, like, going to talk about, I've been impacted, I have to wear masks everywhere, I have to do all this stuff, and I was glad we all kept on the family topic, because I think that's the most important thing, is that we all have each other, we have our friends, our family, and everyone.
Yeah, having people around you can really help you get through these times right now.
Yeah.
Even though you may have to stay 6 feet apart.
Yeah, having friends and family makes all the difference in times like these.
So, I think we should come to wrapping it up. So, I'd like to say a couple things before we leave. So, the admission form should most likely, I'll post it on Twitter, on our Twitter page, at Noble Knights FHN, and also in the comments and probably description of this video. And so, we love it for you to follow the account and give us a subscribe on YouTube. And those admission forms should be ready by then. If they're not, I'll post something on the Twitter. Do you guys have any closing statements or things to say?
Well,
so you said what the Twitter name was, but you didn't really state what the YouTube name was.
So
is it also the same?
The YouTube is Noble Knights, capital F, capital H, capital N. Noble, not like Nobel.
Oh, well, I was thinking maybe we can like expand our advertising, like maybe put like an advertisement for our podcast in the school paper, because a lot of people read that.
Okay. or hanging around the school and the announcements boards. I like that idea, Nolan.
Yeah.
So is that your
Yeah,
final
just having-
statement?
Just having a few of those posters advertising what we're doing, what we are, is a really good idea. Because not everybody might know what it is, or that we're even doing this.
All right, so thank you everyone for coming out today. Thank you, Jonathan, Nolan, and Nigel. And thank you, viewers, for watching this episode. We'll see you next time on Noble Knights.